We are all caught in this vice grip of lawlessness throughout the country. But the Cape Flats, please take note that we are captured, and every corner in every household on the Cape Flats, we are captured by gangsterism. We breed gangsterism in our homes. We breed it in the churches. Lawlessness are bred within the structures of everywhere around us. But I want to first of all speak to the homes. There's a lack of parenthood. Not fatherhood, parenthood. Because have you seen lately that when trucks are being looted, mommies and daddies are all involved. And they even send our little ones to loot bread, not because we are hungry, because we are lawless. My leaders, thank you very much. We wish you well in the government of national unity. Thank you, Minister, for saying yes, Deputy Ministers for saying yes, and to Ian Cameron, welcome to the fold. As chairperson, we will bombard you with many, many duties that you need to perform in the trenches, not in the Eiffel Towers, but in the trenches. We invite you to Elsie's River. Minister in the Western Cape, we invite you to Elsie's River. Walk with us in the mornings, in the nights, picking up bullets, picking up bodies, engaging our young children and our pastors and mothers and fathers. And I specifically say pastors because the pastors no longer preach Jesus Christ. They preach many other things except what is to be preached. And in front of me, the district preacher sits, and we engaged a few days ago saying that stop preaching money, stop preaching all the other things that's material, but speak and preach.
Can we be mindful of time so that we can...
To the things that is important. Charity begins at home, and our homes are in tatters. And we're not blaming Mr. Government here, but we're putting it to the minister. Minister, we have a lack of resources, not just in Elsie's River. Although I'm a representative of Elsie's River, our precinct is our station is a brigadier station. But our brigadier, Mark Hudsenberg, was taken to Mitchell's Plain to do some intervention work there. We have a lack of leadership. There was no communication from SAPS side. And I am saying this because I said it to our general also, that they did not even think of communicating with Elsie's River CPF. If we are truthful and honest with regards to the partnership that exists between the communities and the police, they should honor that communication. It's not even a lack, it's a disrespect towards the communities.
Thank you very much.
They need to speak to the communities first.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Our station commander must come back.
The point is taken.
Please
Thank
take
you very
that.
much. Let's give it to the next one so that
Our
another round you can come back.
Permit me also to say that our commander, our inspector commander, was also taken away from us, sent to Khayelitsha. And we are not saying here Khayelitsha deserves, or Elsie's River deserves only, but at least the communication to the community policing forum, there's a disrespect. There is absolutely no communication. And I take exception to that because I'm a representative of the community on the community policing forums. We are under-resourced. In our precinct, we don't get any resources unless we fight for those resources. And I put it to everybody here, not to rape our conscience, but to speak brazenly and bluntly about what is currently happening in the province and in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, the one with the white hat. Can I assure you that we know what CPF is? Ironically, myself and the wife of Deputy Minister Matali are members of this CPF where we come from. So we really understand what you're talking about. The white hat, the one with the white...
Oh.
Good morning, Deputy Minister. My name is Marlon Solomons. I'm the chairperson of Macassar CPF. My question to the dignitaries sitting here is Macassar is one of the oldest precincts in the Western Cape. But we are understaffed for more than 15 to 20 years now already. We've been fighting with ministers and with the provincial board to get our staff members. At the moment, our precinct have been increased again. So our borders have been put even bigger out. We sit with, in Macassar, we sit with a national entity. The NEL is in the middle of Macassar's precinct. But the NEL is serviced by Somerset West. So we are understaffed, and how can you expect of 7 people on a shift to do a precinct as big as Macassar? We sit with problems that on a weekend like today, 3 members book off sick. You sit with 4 members that must do the whole precinct. We asked for the last 20 years for manpower to be sent to Macassar, but every time the people don't acknowledge anything from Macassar. Okay. So if we can get even the national entity, the NEL, to be under Macassar's jurisdiction, that is the soonest we will get manpower into Macassar. Because Macassar is becoming a dumping ground for bodies and for criminal activities from out the Cape Flats. People is killed everywhere else, and the body's been dumped in Macassar. You will see it every week in the news, how many bodies get dumped in Macassar. But whenever we speak about it, it just gets shoved under the carpet. We are, at this point, we had enough of that. And we want you to engage and give us manpower so that we can prevent crime in our area as good as we would like it to be.
Okay. Point taken.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning.
All
Is it
protocol
still morning?
observed.
I think it's good afternoon now.
Is it afternoon now? It's 22 minutes past afternoon. I did some homework last night because I couldn't come to this meeting ill-prepared. I don't want to speak the emotions of things, but allow me to just pan out the 3-phase social decay model that I think is happening in Cape Town. Incidents, regular occurrence, and culture. Initially, criminal acts may arise as isolated incidents, often triggered by specific circumstances, such as the economic hardships, social unrest, individual and gang grievances. These incidents shock communities and highlight underlying issues. That's when crime is just an incident. But when crime becomes a regular occurrence over time, certain types of crime become more frequent as social and economic and political conditions persist. These regularity can desensitize communities, and this is what happened in Cape Town. Communities are desensitized, normalizing criminal behavior and leading to a sense of helplessness among residents. As crime becomes more prevalent, it can create a cycle where marginalized individuals and groups may see crime as a viable means of survival and expression. We are past that point. We are at a point where crime has become culture. Eventually, criminal behavior can become embedded in the culture of our society and has embedded itself in our culture. This shift manifested through changes in social norms, increasing acceptance of illegal activities, and a breakdown in the social contract. What happened yesterday in Hanover Park is a breakdown of the social contract. As crime becomes intertwined with cultural identity, it may influence everything from art to music to the political agenda and law enforcement practices, further perpetuating cycles of decay and leading to systemic issues that are difficult to address.
As we wrap up,
what is the problem in Cape Town? We need to study South America to understand how gangs have taken over communities We are at the horizon where that is going to happen in Cape Town. Gangs are taking over the responsibility of the state. To protect us is the responsibility of the state. To provide services is the responsibility of the state. In the absence of those services and those protections, there's no vacuum. Gangs full, and we can go study El Salvador, we can go study South Argentina. Gangs have become the state operatives within that, in the absence of the state. We need a comprehensive approach to service delivery. It seems as if the police force wants sometimes to be social workers. Sometimes they want to deal with children. It's not the police work. It's the absence of all state entities within our communities that cause the decay. Finally, I want to say,
As you wrap up, also saying your name and the organization or who you represent.
my name is Reverend Graham Siebrits. I'm the District Spiritual Crime Prevention Chair.
Thank you.
Both in El Salvador and in Argentina, gangs take over communities by exploiting vulnerabilities, offering protection, and creating a pseudo-economy where illegal activities become primary means of survival. We are already there. I'm not a doom prophet. I'm just stating the facts. The following factors contribute to this control: intimidation
Can we
and
just
violence.
wrap it up? Let's take other hands. We'll come back if you still have more to say.
Thank
so
you.
that as many people as can
I
be
just want to
able
conclude, we are already there.
Thank you. Number 4. Colleagues, I'm going to ask that you stick on time. Just go straight to the point so that all of us can get a chance to speak to the ministry and to the police. And if we still want to come back again, we'll come back again. But let's give each other a chance. Thank you, ma'am.
Good day to everyone that is here. My name is Samngelisi Wetoga.
Sorry.
No, that gentleman who was just speaking, I didn't get the name, but what I'm more interested in is what you said. You say, like it happened in Hanover Park. We don't know what happened in Hanover Park. So we don't know what you're referring to. If you could just take a second to tell us what happened and when.
Yesterday, there was some shooting in Hanover Park. Please help me if I'm not telling the story correctly. And law enforcement was under siege by the community. They stoned some law enforcement officers, and the community took technically law in their own hands. It was not SAPS, I think it was the city law enforcement, Metro Police. The LEAP officers was under attack by the community. Pushing them out of the community. I think a gentleman was shot. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. All protocol observed, ministers. What have happened is...
Your name?
The name is Weldon Cameron. I'm the CPF chairperson for this area, for Hanover Park. Okay. Yesterday in the morning, the LEAP officers were on patrol. And then they noted a suspect running with a firearm. They gave chase. And while they were chasing the suspect, he pitched the firearm amongst community members. And then they tried to retrieve the firearm from the community members. When there's a standoff that ensued, and that have led to rocks and stones being thrown at the law enforcement officers, they withdrew, regrouped, and they came back. But up until this point, they have not actually traced the suspect. But the suspect is known by name. That's the incident that happened here yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 4. Please repeat your name again. I know you said it.
Oh, my name is Siwe Toga, Samgeli Siwe in full.
Yeah, just for us to run the taste of what you are saying. So somebody takes over a firearm from a law enforcement officer, or they had a firearm of their own and they were chased by police. Yes. And then the police or law enforcement want to take that firearm.
Correct, because the suspect actually ran away, but the firearm was dumped amongst the crowd. And they tried to retrieve the firearm when the community deemed fit to attack them, to retain the firearm in that area.
And so the community does not or do not take the firearm back to the police. They run away with it.
It's a negative. They ran away with the firearm.
And then they attack the law enforcement officer.
The bystanders, the crowd, attacked the law enforcement officers. And the people that have taken the firearm, they have disappeared between the flats. So then the community took it upon themselves to defend those people, because it is a gang-infested area and there is a gang controlling that area.
So where is the firearm?
The firearm is currently still in the community, Minister.
The firearm is with the community.
That is correct.
Okay.
You can give it back to her.
My name is Siwe Toga. I'm the chairperson of the Ikapa Victims Empowerment Center. I'm also a member of CRIMSA, which is Criminology and Victimology Specialist with the University of South Africa. I used to be a student at the Center of Criminology, and I was a complainant in 2012, that ended up being the Khayelitsha Commission of Inquiry on the effectiveness of the police. In 2024, as I'm standing here, I'm still not happy. But this is what I want to share, and I want to advocate for. Policing in South Africa is very complex. It's a complex issue, but it's a preventable discipline if we can just adopt the whole of society approach. I'm from the Whole of Society Foundation. We've learned that if everyone takes one's responsibility, whether it's DSD, it's social work services, mental health issues, parenting from incivility, as we saw yesterday in Hanover Park. Fortunately, I was an eyewitness yesterday. We have reached, as the guy from Elsis River has alluded, a very risk scenario in South Africa. And unfortunately, both our seashores and our land shores and our homes have become haven of organized crime, from cocaine being distributed for our children, and our young boys, unfortunately, are at the center. But what I want to be thankful of, when I heard the priorities of Macingwane, he mentioned that we need to go back. We had an National Crime Prevention Strategy of 1996 that would have been at the center of our problems if it was adopted. Unfortunately, a combat strategy was prioritized. Maybe in 2024, Macingwane, it's time that we go back to that strategy, because that strategy places each and every role player at the center of creating safety nets. Multi-stakeholder engagement. Criminal governance is a complex issue. It starts from our homes, like the gentleman from Elsis River alluded. When we lose social control over our children, the state can do nothing. I want us to take a lesson in the last 30 years. Safety will not come from the police alone. And I think it's high time, whether you are a minister, whether you are a commissioner, to be honest of what each stakeholder can do. Because this panacea of making government to appear as if they can solve our problems is a fallacy. We are in 30 years, but my democracy did not give me the liberal dividends. I think I want to employ the community of Hanover Park. Within our communities, we are our own animals. We are our own enemies. We are also crime entrepreneurs. We are also in our own families. We have crime instigators. Until as communities, guys, really, we can expect these men in blue to perform miracles. They won't be, because it starts with me, with my son that can't even respect me. But the issue of resources, now, I'm going to be very short now. Victim empowerment in this country has been placed in the hands of dogs. And dogs cannot really take it through. But I think if we can then collaborate and form genuine, forward or futuristic partnerships. We as community organizations, we don't want money from the state, but we want the state now to consider a possibility of a plural policing strategy which involves us as community members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 5. Number 5 with a blue, yeah. No. She's number 5. I protect women. It's natural.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members. I'm Heidi Goodman. I'm from the Muizenberg Community Police Forum. I want to paint a picture of what our station looks like. It is a 3-story, very old heritage building. Every floor is flooded. Even today, it is flooded. It is cold. The windows are broken. The rain comes in. The police officers are ill. The people in the holding cells are living with their feet in water. It cannot continue like this. We have brought this to provincial, to national leadership's attention for so long, and nothing is happening. The fence around the police station is non-existent. It has been falling down bit by bit over the 10 years that I've been working with our SAPS officers. The police station at the back, thanks to the City of Cape Town not being able to get rid of the vagrants living behind it, there are gangsters surrounding the police station. The police female officers who work at night are petrified. They've got no lights outside on the building. Often inside doesn't work because of the damp, the rain, just the general old conditions of the police station. The switchboard doesn't work, maybe 20% of the time, so the community can't call directly. And then you're asking these officers to perform a service for our community. We have got greatest respect for the officers working at Muizenberg SAPS, but it cannot continue like this. They are demoralized. They are cold. They are shivering in their shoes. They are wet the whole time. And then just my final comment. Yesterday, Makasa was saying they can get 7 people on a shift. We are lucky if we get in the evenings 4 people on a shift. Yesterday we had 1 roadworthy SAPS vehicle to police the whole Muizenberg policing precinct. So my plea, please can we get some attention, a visit from the Minister just to see. Next week it's going to be raining again, and it will be a really good picture to paint of the conditions that these gentlemen and gentle ladies are working under. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Let me take new hands. Let me start at the back this
Sorry,
time.
Deputy Minister. Now, whose police station is this among the station commanders here that they are talking about? Can you describe this police station from your perspective now?
Good afternoon, Minister, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm standing in for Colonel Johnson, who's on leave. Yes, we have a little bit of challenges there at the police station with leakage, which is being addressed with the assistance of our CPF and our commander at the police station. So it's an ongoing situation that has been addressed. So there is areas at the police station that is leaking quite a bit of water. And as our CPF person has been saying that the guys are a little bit negative sometimes. So that is the problem that we have.
Thank you. Minister, you want to follow
I
up?
take time to understand and to hear. I don't hear what you're saying. I thought you were standing up as a station commander or his substitute to describe the police station. What you seem to be saying is different from what she's saying.
No, Minister, it is an old building.
Yeah, you are beginning on the right track now.
It is an old building.
Yeah, go on along those lines. Then
Yeah.
go on.
So there is lots of wear and tear, and like I said earlier, the place is leaking, especially with around the staircase area. There is quite a bit of leak, and the place, mostly when like the rain that we've had the last few days, it gets the place to be flooded.
Okay. Minister, are you satisfied? Okay. Let me start at the back. Ntate, yeah. Yes, number 1. Yeah, you can sit down. Let me recognize 5. 2. Yeah, 2. 3. 4. 5 red. In that order. No, let me just finish with in the order.
Thank you.
You can sit down, ma'am. Ma'am, you can sit down. I'm coming. I started at the front, back, and then I'm coming nicely.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, Minister and all the officers. My name is Reverend Dr. Llewellyn McMaster. I'm saying that so that my brother from Elsies also must hear that it's not all pastors that preach money. I was the very first CPF chairperson in Bishop Lavers when it all began. I've done my postgraduate studies in theology, but focusing on, for example, the challenge of gangsterism to faith communities. Just to say, therefore, that I come a long way. But at the moment, I'm the chairperson of the, shall I say, newly formed Cape Crime Crisis Coalition. And our intention is to bring the voices together so that when we eventually get to the police or the minister, we have almost, consolidated the voices. Because a lot of people will speak from their position now. Some of my co-members have spoken, and I'm not going to go into that, where they pointed out the complexities of crime. And so the minister is going to set himself up for failure, I think, if his mindset will be just to be a good police minister in my silo. It's not going to solve our crime problems. It's deep. What we see in Hanover Park and so on. It's part of what has happened over many years, decades in our communities. The criminal economy sustained by these gangsters and drug lords is real. Wie sit kos op die tafel? Who puts food on the table? The state doesn't do it. So these guys step in. And there's examples of that. I don't have to go into that. So my question would be, given all this, Minister, what are you going to do new to tackle this problem? I've listed the priorities. I'm impressed that you've listed it. I'm impressed by another thing, personally. You said, I'm not going to run around. There's a national police commander. And that was part of my personal criticism against the former minister. You can't be all over, because then people expect you to be here and there and there. What about the strategic thinking that needs to go into this? So if the government's approach doesn't include, my own word now, de-silofication, get out of the silos if you want to solve social economic problems. My last point is, you will have to do better to protect the men in blue.
And women in.
Oh, of course. Of course. The people on the ground. Because if everything else fails in the community, we must have confidence that I walk into a police station and will be treated with dignity and respect and will leave, even if my problem is not solved. I don't want to get out there and feel, Here, wat het ek nou hier kom doen? But it's because the morale is low. So, and just finally, personal life.
Finally.
I'm a preacher, so we've got a lot of.
Finally.
Just on a personal level, and it ties in with the point that I just made about protecting the police office, making them feel safe and valued. I knew Colonel Charles Kania personally. He was a member of my church. I married him. I preached at his funeral. His wife is struggling. We've got an iPad report. Nothing. But Minister Taylor was there the day after he was shot with all the promises. How is it going to give confidence to these men and women to do their work if they and their families feel we are not valued and protected? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Who was number two?
Number 2 is at the back. 2 at the back.
Who was number 2 here at the back?
Yeah.
Thank you, Deputy Minister, and greetings to the protocol that has already been established. Mine is just maybe to highlight a few things. My name is Mawande Lu Gongolo Umfundis from the Nyanga Spiritual Crime Prevention. I'm the chair of that forum. Few things. One, amongst the listed challenges that were listed as part of the findings during the previous imbizos, the issue of Browns Farm Satellite Police Station was not mentioned on that list. That was mentioned by the Provincial Commissioner.
Okay.
We think that needs attention. Secondly, one of the challenges that we're noticing is the issue of moral decay in our community. And then the Spiritual Crime Prevention Desk was launched nationally and provincially and to the stations as well. But for me, I think that one of the things that we ought to do is revamp and align that with the moral regeneration programs as well and strengthen that desk, because we are seeing family decays, we are seeing child-headed homes as ministers in the community. We're not only preaching money. There are so many interventions that we do. But when it comes to this desk of the spiritual crime prevention, there are hiccups, whether from the SAPS side or the minister's side, which is the reverend and the pastors and the men of clergy. Lastly, my contribution will be, one of the things we need to keep an eye on in our communities, amongst many problems, there is a high rate of school dropout from young boys. And we're not talking about that. The former Minister of Education, when she was releasing the last metric results, she did mention about, because the number are keeping on dropping. And where do those boys go to the crime? So one of the things we need to follow is the issue of education. And we cannot give up on a boy child, because our challenges are from that. Ogokgqibela, Program Director, is that we need to be intentional about engaging men as men, not as perpetrators now. Most of the time when we engage men as. We need to engage men so that we deal with the issues, whether psychologically, financially, however. Lastly, now this is the question.
Another last.
We have been given strategies for so many times, and we have read documents. What are the short-term interventions that the minister and the entourage is promising us as we live here in terms of fighting crime? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The third one.
Good afternoon. All protocol observed. My name is Shamla Nicholas, and I am the City of Cape Town.
Can we kindly...
Reverend, please.
Give us time.
Okay, I am the City of Cape Town, chairperson CPF for this district. So first of all, let me just say I'm a bit taken aback that we weren't invited to this meeting. So thank you to our provincial chair that we will also acknowledge, because that's the first part I want to talk about, the communication and the disrespect to our CPFs. I also want to speak about, I'm going to talk about two things. I'm not going to take it long. But first of all, I want to speak about us and our partners. Okay? First of all, we know the crime is an uptick on women and children in this. And I'm not going to say Cape Flats. It's the Cape. It's the Western Cape. So the MSC that's sitting there, the ministers and the National Commissioner must understand that our people are dying. We are dying. Our members that's going out here, our CPF and neighborhood members, if the station commanders and the station cannot even look after their members, because they are also not being protected, then how do we protect our members? So that's my first concern. I secondly want to just go to an infrastructure. We talk about the infrastructures now. There's a lot of units, and we always hear about there's the different units, the AG units, this unit, that unit. Okay, I want you to go back to your interim regulations, where it stipulates that we should be informed if we want to find out what is it that they have done in our areas. We don't get that communication. Secondly, the station commanders here, whether they spoke up this morning, I don't know. You cannot continuously take in members to these units and making them short of members on the ground. We need visibility in our stations. There is nothing. Some stations is sitting here with a 60% shortage. Don't even go to the detectives. I don't even want to go there because it's a serious problem in the Western Cape. So when the minister and the National Commissioner looks at the Western Cape, please go and really look at the human resources. We are lagging behind and our members cannot take any more. We look at it when we go into the stations, and every time you do a visit and you can see how they're doing, because remember, we've been told we're not accountable. So when we go in, we see another acting station. I've never seen so many actors within the SAPS. You seriously will have to look at what is going on, because we cannot have that even in our high crime areas. That's the first. We talk about infrastructure also. Let me make it very clear, General Patikile. Kleinvlei is not klein like small. Kleinvlei needs a bulldozer to be thrown over. Those members shouldn't be operating like that. It is bad. As for Minister, if you want to know about Muizenberg, I can give you footage. I've sent it to provincial chair without an acknowledgement. I sent it to our district commission. He referred it to the station commander. Our members, one member here, our CIB member fell in that station. I'm still sending you that report. So yes, your stations, before you look at making it bigger or better or more stations, go back to the stations that need the infrastructure to be looked at. We have a serious concern on the ground.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next door. Number 4 next door. Yeah. Yes. You are number 5, sir. With the red jacket, you are 5.
Good afternoon, Minister. All protocol observed. My name is Justin. I'm the ex-Cape Town Cluster Chair, part of the Provincial Board. Minister, I think the first thing that we need to look at is 100% resources and the way resources are allocated. We are allocating our resources according to crime, and I completely understand that, but we are in a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation, because we're taking from other stations in order to boost the stations with the high crime levels. But give it a couple years' time, those stations that we took the resources from are going to be in that top 10 and that top 30, and we're going to have to go back. So we really need to look at the way we are resourcing it, because we're also demoralizing our other stations. We have a lot of good station commanders, a lot of good members within the force. For every 100 good members, there's probably one bad. But we also need to make sure that those bad members are being dealt with, because when they're not, we are demoralizing our good members. We are putting them in the situation where they don't care anymore because nothing happens and nothing is going to happen. And that is something that we really need to work with, Minister. I agree with the infrastructure. I'm not going to rehash that. Some of our stations are in a terrible situation. Kleinvlei should not be a station. Those members should not be allowed to work in that station. And I'll end it off there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, sir. Yeah.
Good evening, Minister.
It's still afternoon, not
good
evening
afternoon.
yet.
Good afternoon, Minister. I like your enthusiastic towards all our members. Minister, I'm Mr. Mansoor Ishmael from Ocean View CPF. One thing I want to say to the Minister, most of them touched on it as I was sitting here next to me. But the one thing I want to say, we got a lot of dedicated Neighborhood Watch members, dedicated Community in Blue members, and dedicated CPF members. That is not even looked at from SAPS side. Meaningly, we get email a day before the time or even an hour before the event to be present. We got families. We need time to get those planned in action to be at the event. Secondly, our station commanders gets email to say that they're not allowed to do this, they're not allowed to do that. And I'm sorry, my station commander, but he is a workhorse. Meaningly, myself and him, we go out. But then it gets told to him, he's not allowed to be outside. He must look after his station. How will he know what is happening outside his areas? If it's not for me to tell him or phone him during the day, or he phones me, he won't know. So please, can you change the law of our station commanders being more active in our communities and not just by a name Bizo? They need to see what's the real world out there. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much. I can see our men in blue. You have a union member speaking on your behalf. Yeah. Number 1. No, you sit down after I recognize you. 1, 2. 2 with a brown next to 2, yeah. You take your hand down. I thought the police were this side. I thought you were. I will come back to you, sir. 3, Mama. 4. 4. 5. Yeah. I'm coming. We are all going to speak. Don't panic. We're not in a hurry. You are all going to be heard. Okay, thank you. Yeah?
Because I'm short.
I thought you were addressing us sitting down, actually.
Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Dylan Dolph. I'm from ELC's River Crime Prevention Youth Desk. So, my question to all the ministers here today. Firstly, we call ourselves gatekeepers, but we are not at the gate. We call ourselves intercessors as SAPS members, but we are not filling the gap. We are called ourselves watchmen as men and women in blue, but we are not at the tower. We call ourselves guardians as men and women in blue, but we are not really on duty. So as a youngster, as a youth leader, as professional, I'm a registered male nurse. I work with Abakaluli Prison Ministry in the prisons in and out. Former worker with Ceasefire. I'm working also in projects in Eastern Cape regarding leadership in prisons and stuff. So my question to all the members, especially to our minister, like they said, the lady said we mustn't look to the past. But firstly, Minister Beki Kaele, he didn't fix anything. First of all, he was just there to play. So, as a youngster, why don't you as SAPS, hire any more reserves? There's a lot of matriculants there outside, more than qualified. They're sitting at home, and still we are blaming our children falling into drugs or going into gangsterism. We have a lot of organizations in any police station all over the Western Cape. We enroll projects and stuff, but there's no funds. First of all, and lastly, I know you as ministers and deputies, you want to protect all women and men in blue. But honestly, I can show you proof, I can give you proof. How many times community members goes to a police station, then there's no electricity. I don't know what is our women and men in blue going to a college. When they come back, they can't even write an affidavit. Am I correct, community? Huh?
No, talk to me. Don't talk to the meeting.
So,
you talk to me.
Another thing is, most of these men and women in blue, they are not even equipped to be at the station level. So, our neighborhood watchers here, all other organization members, some of them are even more equipped to fill a role. Because some of us, we call ourselves detective, inspector. You are labeled by your rank, but you are not doing your work. I'm gonna finish off with this as a youth leader. 3 weeks ago, where I'm staying in ELC's, one of the shops was attacked there. They gun pointed 2 Somalians. They stabbed one in the neck. They stabbed the other guy 3 times in his ribs. They called the police. They called the ambulance. We was waiting. The call was pending from the ELC's police station. Like Chief said here, we have a lack of resources there. 2 police officers came out. 2 newly constables. I mean, fresh from college. I asked them to assist with this matter there. The 2 guys fled the scene. They said, no, we're coming back now. They never came. As a registered nurse, I was there, stabilized that guy. His vein was already outside by his neck. We organized private transport to take that person to hospital. So, Mr. Minister, please, man, those women and men in blue, don't let them eat just money or go to the bank every month and withdraw. Let them work. Because don't talk, walk the talk.
Thank you. The next, yeah.
Greetings all, my name is Vernon Fortune. I'm from Mitchell's Plain. And my greatest concern is our young men that are dying daily like flies. I want to just make you aware of the reality. The many things that has been mentioned here today is only the symptoms. One of the things that makes my heart beat is the fact that we need the government, not the police, to fix the system that causes our children to drop out of school, to fix the system that causes our children to become gangsters. There's no work. What must they do? I would like to mention this. I live in Mitchells Plain 30 years. I have a drug dealer that is trading from the same address for 30 years, 24/7. I've made it a point that in every opportunity I get, when the police minister is there, the station commander, or whatever meeting there is, I want to raise that point. And if I come back here in 6 months' time again and the minister is here again and nothing is happening, I will repeat that thing again. There's two big things that we need to sort out in Mitchells Plain. Number one is partnership, police, CPF, neighborhood watch. And the most important thing is that there is trust between the community and the South African Police Services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The third one. The third, yeah, you were third.
Yeah,
And
just
then fourth, fifth.
Deputy Minister, sorry, Deputy Minister.
Oh.
Just for me to hear, sorry, you are saying, if I heard you well, you as a person have known somebody for the last 30 years who's dealing with drugs.
Just repeat that. Just repeat that, sir.
Yeah, no, you don't have to repeat. I just want confirmation, if that is what you were saying.
That there is a house that is dealing drugs for 30 years.
And nothing has happened?
Nothing has happened.
Okay.
Can I? Minister.
Molweni.
Just hold on. Hold on, ma'am. Minister, are you okay? Okay. Go on, ma'am.
Oh. My name is Zuki Mdingi from Kailicha SAPS. So far with SAPS, we're working very well. And also to assist the issue of the crime in Kailicha, we patrol as a community in blue. As we have those 6 sectors in Kailicha, another week we are going to another sector every Fridays, another 6 to go to another sector. Even, I don't know where is around here, our General Britain, he normally used to even to join us how to fight crime in our Mbizos in Kailicha. And another thing, what I want to say, in the police, we understand we are human beings. To fight the crime in the proper way, let's leave to play soccer. I don't want to make it, put it, I'll say, people will say that I'm rude. Soccer, you cannot be a colonel or general, then you play games with neighborhood watch, which is your dignity is going to be down. That must be strictly go down. It mustn't happen in our crimes, in our crimes points. And another thing, sir.
I'm not getting you clear. What are you saying? Say it straight, because we will go out here thinking you're playing soccer.
They must not open the legs.
Oh, okay.
To the seniors officials.
Okay.
Because it's where the crime that is gonna be rotten. It's not gonna work right.
They are listening.
Yeah, you get me now, Cecile.
No, they are listening. Them. Yes, sir. Welcome. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody, Minister, the rest of the dignitaries and officials. My name is Weldon Cameron. I'm the Deputy Chairperson here for Philippi CPF, which also coincidentally covers Hanover Park. I'm not standing here to speak out against SAPS for one reason. I come from a controversial CPF where I've been persecuted for something like 18 years that I served in the structure. And my CPF have been dissolved about 6 or 7 times. But we've arrived. So that's why I'm not speaking against SAPS. We just want to do what we want to do. Currently, we have relationships even with Minister Castle. He was here a couple of times. Minister Andrew Marais through our Department of Arts and Culture, and also the Provincial Commissioner, the District, General Beaton, General Mangue. So we have current relationships even with your office, Minister. We have a relationship with Luyando and Mr. Dolo, also coming back to us and giving feedback of our complaints that we previously registered at Imbizos. Now, our turnaround strategy is that we currently have an ABT operating in Hanover Park. It's the area board teams that comprises of a multi-sectorial approach, multi-pronged approach, where we have all the joints like the justice cluster, the social cluster, law enforcement, and then we also have civilians and community CBOs, NPOs, that also forms part of that. We all have our problems in all our communities, and we cannot lean on one particular department to bring a resolve or to assist. I think it's about time that all areas have established ABTs, where everybody speaks to one another around the same table. But the only difference is that people coming to that table must be decision makers. It mustn't be messengers. Those should be people that can make a decision there and then, and the line department must follow that decision. So here from Philippi, we are trying our best. We're not complaining. We don't even want finance from government. We just want the resources when we need it, and we just want to push on and just go on and forge more and more relationships to benefit this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 5.
Good afternoon, leadership. I'm Carol Rode. I'm the coordinator of Heinz Park Neighborhood Watch. We fall under Samora Police Station. I only want to highlight to you about Samora, only speaking for my neighborhood watch, Heinz Park Neighborhood Watch, and maybe for some other neighborhoods also. In Samora Marcel serve 8 areas, but they only have 1 van available. That makes it very difficult for the neighborhood watch to operate, because ever we go onto patrol and we come into situations and we phone and we never get a van because not a van available. Also, we have a problem about the beans coming up like mushrooms. Everybody now can open a bean, 1 case of beer and 1 bottle of wine. And the reason, and the thing is just to be flowing, very loud music. So then they compete the one's music. So the beans give us a lot of problem. Because we're waiting for the vans to come, because people, the neighbors, all of them, they complain about the noise because you can't sleep. Like 2 houses, every 4th house got a big music center playing its own kind of style music. And then the vans don't come up, and then we get problem with the people. It's very dangerous. Many of the neighborhood watches, they come and they go because of these situations. And we have good relationship with the leadership of Samora. We don't have a problem with that. Also, the CPF, no problem. It's only the times when we are on patrol. Also, when the van comes, and not only our van, the van for Samora Marcel, I didn't notice that all the SAPS, they don't know what the blue light means. They don't know about blue light patrols, because they come in quick, chip, chip, and there they're out. That's also a concern for us, because I know when it's blue light patrol, then everybody knows that it's patrolling van, and even the children, they see that and like that, but the police, they don't know about that. Also, my last point, what I want to state on, is that I listen to everybody. I'm not so clever in all the strategies and all those kind of things, because I'm just a normal housewife. I'm a retired mental health nurse. So I'm not into all the strategies and high words. But what I listen to people talking about, the gangsters and how you're going to combat this and Afghanistan, all that kind of thing, I know nothing about that, because that is too high for me. But what I know, that we should seriously start by ground floor level. There's a thing, putting his head out, and I don't know if people notice that. But in my area, I'm talking about my area, Heinz Park. If you go around my area, you will see the sign of the pit. I don't know, everybody looking at the pit. You know most the series on the TV about this gangster business. So I did see the sign around, but I'm not actually taking notice of this sign. Then last month, I asked my neighbor's son, he's in grade 4. I asked him, why are you not attending the school in Mitchell's Plain anymore? We have one school in Hines Park, and most people, they take the kids to Mitchell's Plain. I thought he's at home because his parents can't afford the transport money because it's very expensive. So he told me, no, I'm suspended from the school. I asked, why are you suspended from the school? He said, because I belong to the pit. It was such a big shock for me. I asked, the pit? What? He told me, now that school is in Mitchell's Plain, a very good school because my kids also go to that school. I have like a 40 years registered for that school. He said, no, if you go into the toilets, you will see the sign of the pit. So we all, if you come to grade 4, if you don't have a 10 or 20 rand every day, then they're going to text you. And then you might join them. I asked, what? Because I also watching the pit, but not like that. Then I call my grandchild. My grandchild is in grade 2. I call my grandchild. I said, come here. Tell my Oma about this pit business. My grandchild knows the whole Chamat and Kuchavali. My child knows everything. So I also see in my community, there's a lot of these signs coming up. So we all are looking at the gangsterism with the guns and the drugs and all these kind of things. But we are closing now. We don't know from grassroots, grade R level, already the kids, they start knowing about drugs things.
Can we wrap up and give others a chance? Colleagues, I'm going to ask you to please go straight to the point so that we can have everybody speaking. So if we take time and explain, we would not have time. Then we come to the police side. These are members of our SAPS. First one. Second one. Is the member of the police again? Who's this? The third one. Another member? Okay. 4, yeah, 4. 5 with a red jacket, 5.
Recognize me, DP. Good afternoon to everybody. Honorable Minister Mchunu, your DPs and everybody, protocol reserved or observed. I'm Vano Makula. I'm from Mfuleni side. I'm the chairperson of Kubegani Neighborhood Watch in Mfuleni Police Station, and Mfuleni Police Station. Honorable Minister, our Mfuleni Police Station is divided into 3 sectors: Sector 1, Sector 2, and Sector 3. Mfuleni Police Station. Now, given the fact that we were complaining of that police station is still in Blue Downs, is not in our area. And during COVID-19, or the COVID pandemic 19, where our people that were used to rent in household or landlord, where their job lost due to business closed, they went to other area called COVID as informal settlement to occupy the land. Now, our area is becoming now more, the crime rate was up, and if I'm not mistaken, our Mfuleni police station was rating, I think, number 2 or one of the top 5 in the Western Cape. But how do you expect your members to perform well duties when you don't provide them with enough resources? There is an issue in Mfuleni, the issue of extortion group in Mfuleni. We want a development in our informal settlement. But currently in Mfuleni now, this project have been stopped because the guys, they went there to demand the extortion. So extortion, car hijackings, in Mfuleni we are dealing with illegal foreigners that are busy with drug sellings and so on and all that. Illegal ship-ins. The police, our police from Mfuleni side, I'm from Sector 2. They're doing very well, led by Captain Murara and his team. They went, because we're reporting the issues, they went to close the ship-ins. They take all this alcohol. But in 2 days, 3 days, the person has got alcohol again due to maybe, I think, the court failing the SAPS and so on. Otherwise, we've got a good relationship with SAPS. But please, Honorable Minister, provide Mfuleni. We want our police station. We don't want the police station being called Mfuleni, but is in the blue down side. Please provide Mfuleni police station with more police and more vans in our area to fight the crimes. We cannot expect our police to perform duties, to be more ground on the floor. We ask as the ground on the floor, but we don't have enough equipment. Please, Minister.
Thank you. Another SAPS member.
Good afternoon. I'm not from SAPS. I'm the chairperson of Mitchell's Plain CPF. I heard a lot of solutions in the room, and I think those solutions cannot be implemented if there's not a sustained, integrated strategy. So at some point I worked for POX, and I was the manager of the provincial gang intervention strategy. For some reason that was scrapped, and I don't know why, because most of our serious crimes emanates from gang violence, gangsterism. So I'm happy we've got a government of national unity now, because we used to, in this province, we used to politicize crime. So now I'm asking, we've got the MEC there now, we've got the national minister, so I would like you guys to start to implement a provincial gang strategy for the Western Cape. That's my only appeal to you.
Thank you very much. The third SAPS member.
Good afternoon, Minister. My name is Nicholas Tyson, not a boxer. Okay, I'm a representative Strand, in Strand, as a chairperson, acting chairperson. Minister, yes, my question to you and the panel in front there. We are very concerned as citizens also of this country, and especially in the Western Cape also, about the reserve system and the policies. If you can look into it, you had mentioned also in your speech also that more boots need to be on the ground. And I think also, so that is also time to look into the reserve system also. And they will also fill in the gaps with the communities also. And the second question also is in Strand, is a gang station also there. And I witness each and every day how the gangs operated also. SAPS, our own members, they can't even come in areas like in Broughton's Park, in Casablanca, because these guys are shooting on the police, men, women in blue. So my outcry is that, so that if you can look into it, to more human resources, there is enough vehicles, and we as a CPF also working hand in hand with the station commander to better the working relationship also. And we had a very good understanding and working relationship with Strand. My last question is that there was also over 20 years, there was promises at a mobile station there. But there was also been approval from national government was that they will come and put up a satellite station within our communities also, the colored and the black communities also that are suffering the most. So if you can look into it, so it's over 20 years now, and we're still waiting, and the gangs are operating as we should do. Yeah.
Thank you. Number 4 is blue.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thanks, Minister. Just
your name, please.
Yeah, few things. I think my colleagues has already raised the issues.
Your name.
Oh, my name is Michael Bangani. I am the chairperson of Nyanga CPF.
Okay.
I stay in Brown's Farm, where there's bullets, guns every night, where there is murder every night. So I want to talk a little bit on the questions that have been raised. One of them is the elephant in the room, which some people do not raise, but one colleague has raised it, the question of extortion. That we live on that crime. And I want the minister to take note that extortion is a problem, car hijacking is the problem, murders is the problem in our area where we work. But also, I want also the minister to tackle the question of maintenance of police vans. It takes a long time for a van to be repaired. So that question, I think it needs to be addressed so that we find a better way of repairing the police vans, because they can stand in a police yard for some time, take it to the repairs, it doesn't come back. So that also should be taken care of. I also want to make a note that we've been told many times that there is crime intelligence, but we see no results. I know it's a police work, but at least we need to see results if we are saying crime intelligence is around. I also want to indicate that the people that are here, the men in blue that are here, these are seniors. They know what they do. But please, can we go down to the juniors in the police station and train them or teach them some police ethics so that they know how to deal with community members when they come to the police station? Because sometimes I would go, because I know those juniors that are in the police station, they might not know me. I would go to the police station where I work and sit there and look at them and watch them as they treat the community members. And it's a sad situation. So please, if you can't teach them, please take them to workshop or train them to do better with our communities. Lastly, can we then stop to be reactionaries? Can we please be proactive? Because when things happen, police are there. But when you advise police to say this is going to happen, police would not go there. So can we change the strategies and be proactive than reactive? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 5, the red jacket. The red jacket, number 5.
Yeah, eventually.
I could see.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Yes, you're speaking to the one who's standing now. I'm Pastor Zandile Mbeki. I am the chairperson of the Spiritual Crime Prevention of Lingeletu. I am the chairperson also of the Neighborhood Watch in my area. Even before the Spiritual Crime Prevention was implemented, I was already on the ground fighting crime. Fortunately, God came up with this Spiritual Crime Prevention. I'm already on the floor. Then I was selected as a chairperson, right? What I want to come now, I want to come to our police station that is Lingeletu. That spaza shop, my police station, is like a spaza shop, Minister. The reason why I say it's like a spaza shop, if you can see the shops that we are buying in our township, that the Somalians are using container. My police station is like a container. There is no resources, no space, nothing there. Last month or 2 months back, I grabbed or I caught off guard General Patekile, if you can remember me, concerning the vans that they are coming every time coming to Western Cape. Every time we go to the Imbizo, every time to come to places like this, we don't get vans. When I hear that there's 167 vans there that day, I didn't have time to take photos. I was looking for the person who we can speak to concerning this. This is a very serious issue in Lingeletu. Why I'm saying so? We've got 40 sectors in my area, but what is happening every time we phone, no vans. We sit meeting with the management of Lingeletu, and then they explain everything to us. When we listen, every time there's no vans. That is why we took that opportunity and grabbed General Patekile. There and then I spoke to her concerning with this problem. For that spaza shop, we don't even have a space and office for the CPF for our meetings there. We've got an open field. Secondly, I want to talk, there is an open field there by us. I'm not far from Lingeletu. That open field, I think I'm 15 years in that area. They said they're going to build a police station. But what is happening here, Makaza just got a police station now just before us. That space was supposed to be invaded, I think 3 years back, by the people for their shacks. We, the people of that area, we stood up and say, no, this is for our police station. We need a police station, not that shack, that spaza shop. We need a police station that's got a big space. We need vans. General Patekile, I'm coming back again. I'm saying we need vans for our police station. We need resources for our police station. We need also members. There is a lot of staff, a shortage of staff there.
Please talk to me.
There's a shortage of staff. We need also the staff is short in Lingeletu. I think there is someone who already said or talk about that. There are about 7 members. Some of them becomes off sick and this and that, and then we phone at night. Fortunately, I'm in the group of the community. So I see problems there, they're raising problems there. I see there's crime somewhere. One thing I do, they say, I'm phoning in Lingeletu, no one pick up the phone. The only thing I do, I phone my station commander, visible commander. They must call their members. I don't waste time. I just wake him, even if it's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, he must wake up and do something. Because the people are suffering outside. We need landlines there. There's no phones. We phone on those cell phones that you gave us. They don't pick up those phones. Please assist us. We also the CPF. I don't have airtime. I'm not working. I need airtime. Because I'm phoning for the community. I'm standing up for the community. As a pastor also, I know I can see the root cause of the crime. For our children, our youth, as another youth leader said so. The root cause is they are running around. They've got nothing to do. That's why they end up doing crime. They want to do something. You need to have like awarenesses. You need to something for them to do something. If you can't take them as reservists, the youth will notice that. As pastors, we need to take note. Because when we test them, I'm a spiritual person. Like the other candidate said, I'm gifted like for dealing with some spirits. So if I see, like my neighborhood watch, I don't work with anyone there because they know. I don't work with anyone. You need to know who you work with. From the ground.
Yes.
As a pastor, I know this one needs to do this. And then you can see what is the cause of the problem. We need to look at the youth. There, the problem lying. We need to uproot the source of crime, not to play. Like they say now, the police are also only getting salaries at the end of the night. We don't get nothing. But I'm outside every night. I'm outside Sunday. I need the youth. We need the youth as pastors. Well, I'm not here just because I'm a pastor. I am a crime fighter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And I can see a real crime fighter. One.
Sorry. Speaker, can I give me a chance?
Just raise your hand. I'm coming to you. I said 1. No. Let me get 5 first. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Yeah. Number 1.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I think most of the panel there knows me. I'm Vanessa, the deputy for Menenberg. And I always clear this. The police station is Menenberg, it's named Menenberg, but it also serves the community of Heideveld and Tambo Village. So first of all, we just had our head of Wispel, our station commander, that is leaving our police station. So that will leave us with no management. We have, I think it's Colonel Naidu, that is the acting station commander for Menenberg, and he was welcomed by a double murder. So I think you guys are all familiar with the media, and you can see how it's burning in Menenberg. Last night we had a murder in Heideveld. So Minister, I want to tell you what's happening within Menenberg, with the understaffed police station there. The gangs that's in wonderful, successful in Bizo, Deputy Minister, just before the elections. And we don't have to stand here and tell you, and Ian, you can also vouch for this. You know the hard work that we are doing in our community. And you heard the plight of the community here today, Minister, that people is fed up. And I want to say this. When your shifts change, guys, we don't go home. We come dark into that police stations and we leave dark. And fortunately for Philippi, they are saying they don't want to ask for funding. We cannot stand here and not ask for help. We need help. So we are sitting with the solutions in the community, Minister. First of all, I want to suggest what should happen is, can we have a meeting with yourself or this panel and just the CPFs so that we can have a closer partnership in telling you guys what our plight is. I want to speak about what's happening within the city of Cape Town and the failure speaking towards us as CPFs. It's all good for this GNU, but it's not working for us because the division is still there. Because CPFs was labeled as national government. Are you guys with me? And then your councillors is dividing our communities while our people is dying. So just last night we came home, Menenberg CPF, I think we got into bed about 1 o'clock. Because we were facilitating, there is animosity in our communities because of what the city of Cape Town is doing in the Western Cape. We are sitting with 29 neighborhood watchers. Your Heideveld, your Menenberg, and your Tambo. You cannot, it's not normal to give to one neighborhood watch funding. You are dividing our people. If you can't give to the 29, then don't give to no one. But don't come and divide our people more. Minister, we are sitting with solutions here. It's all good and well. We stand here and we want to blame shame, but we need to come up with the solutions. Because why? Our people are dying here on the Cape Flats. And we need help in the Western Cape. We need to go back to the basics. While Western Cape is burning, the mayor of Western Cape took away the hawking bus. Come on now. He took away the hawking bus that was so helpful towards the schools. My colleague just said now, the one lady just said now, and don't take this lightly. If you are watching TV, you will understand where the sting of the pit is going on the Cape Flats. Because it is people that is taking ownerships of certain parts in the Western Cape. And then you have to mark yourself to belong to that entity. But there's no more bambananis on the schools. And we are willing to assist. And I want to stand off with this. I've got such a lot to say. But because we are pushed for time and I don't want to be unfair towards the others that must still speak. That is why this platform is good. But we need more time to engage with you people. In Bezos is all good. But the plight of the people doesn't go away. The fight continues. So we need to go back to the basics in our communities. It starts at home. And I want to stand off with this, speaking to the members in uniform, to our station commanders starting at the top, down to the members. While the gangsters are killing one another, we can still not deal with factions within police stations. we cannot still deal where the officers doesn't know their CPFs. The undermining that SAPS is sometimes giving to us as CPF members. How come you still don't know who your neighborhood watch members is? How come you still don't know who your CPF members is? And then all that we ask is for politeness when we walk into our stations, and we will make that partnership work. So I want to say, Deputy Minister, I'm glad that we also have, not that our Deputy Minister, he has worked hand in hand with us, especially when we called on him to say that, look here, acknowledge Heideveld, acknowledge Sambu Village. We are glad that Ian is also a part. He knows how we are working in the community. GBV also is a big issue in our community. I'm also a founder for a beautiful organization called Mothers for Justice. When you guys are sleeping, when the uniform is hanging there on the hanger, we are working with these victims, so we become expert of these things. But if we don't have, like the lady is saying, for your officer to get to work, he needs taxi fare. And then how do we get to work? No one is thinking of that. You send out those jackets, that community in blue jackets, that was given to some members. The city is dividing our people by giving half of the people jackets, and the other half has to get wet. But not one jacket to the CPF, not one cap to the CPF, and nothing comes to us. And by the end of the day, we feel that is not human, that what is happening. So please consider, and Minister, I'm asking you, not in 2 months, not in a year. As soon as we know you are busy, you have just taken office, we will not keep you accountable for things that is before your time, but we will keep you accountable starting the second. So we are asking you a meeting between the CPFs, maximum maybe 2 to 4 delegations per CPF, get a venue so that we can have a heart-to-heart talk and give you the solutions in the Western Cape. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Second one. Is it you or her?
Number 2,
Number two
3.
is just, yeah.
Good afternoon, honorable leadership. I'm Vernon Fasage, your servant at Menenberg. I would want to say that in May month of this year, we had a successful Imbizo where I think we forewarned you at the Imbizo that there will be a gang flare-up again in Menenberg. To date, we are 50 murders too late. Menenberg have become the hub and the recruitment center of gang bosses being distributed to other parts of the Western Cape. If you talk about Mitchell's Plain, the gang boss in Mitchell's Plain stays in Menenberg. Tafelsig head office is in Menenberg. If you can solve Menenberg, you have solved half of the Western Cape's problems. I have reached out to General Patekile, I've reached out to General Beaton. Menenberg is under siege and under-resourced. Our brigadier is retired by the end of this month. The best lieutenant colonel that we had was shifted to Nyanga, and we've asked, could you please send him back to Menenberg so that we can sort out the problems in Menenberg. It was told to my face, he's doing a good job in Nyanga, he's staying there. what do we do? In closing, and perhaps I just need to pause for a second. Our children who came back from school holidays, Menenberg did not have a school holiday. Instead, there was gang violence, and they could not enjoy the 3-week break. My proposal to this board is that we need to look a bit deeper and gain strength and divine intervention from on top. I think for now, let us not blow off hot air. Let us not become just another Imbizo. And we walk out here thinking that we are satisfied with what we have come, they've listened to us. But in the meantime, people are still dying. I then want to appeal to you, because we cannot park this bus in front of SAPS and say, SAPS, take responsibility for the 4 schools that have closed down in Menenberg. They've promised us that they are going to rebuild those schools, and they've never done so. We cannot park that bus in front of you. But can you imagine where are those children and how serious the dropout rate? I don't want to talk about it. How serious, in what state Menenberg is right now. I am standing here and I'm saying to you, visit Menenberg, give Menenberg your urgent attention so that Menenberg does not duplicate and Menenberg does not become another Bontiville situation, another Nova Park situation. Let's curb it right here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 3.
Thank you so much. I think you are number 4. I'm number 3.
4.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much. Let me congratulate our minister, Senzo Mchunu, to be the minister, the portfolio that you're in. I was in one of the big gathering this weekend, and people did not know you. So they asked, and it was funny because I belong to somewhere else, not in your political position. And then I had to advocate as to, in one of the portfolios that the policing is one of the best people that we have. And looking at knowing the stunning work that you've done in previous portfolios that you've been part of. But coming to this, my name is Sakhele Kula. I'm the chairperson for spiritual crime prevention in Khayelitsha. And I'm also standing in on my CPF, as apologize, is not here Funeka Soldat. I think let me just give a brief, just short of how we operate in Harare.
Very short.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. You're crucifying me, though. I think the most important thing is that there's a convening of meeting with the station commander, with your CPF, with your spiritual crime prevention, for briefing first and foremost, reports. That is what we do in Harare, so that we understand each other, But the problems that we are meeting, Minister, is that one, the police are very scared of criminals. And I must tell you in honesty that police are scared of criminals.
Really?
Yes. Oh. Because why I say they are scared of criminals, they would know about the problem, but they will not come out and go and arrest the people that needs to be arrested. And also what I've noticed, I'm very much, the police, Metro Police and law enforcement, they've got a better vehicles, clean vehicles. They can manage. There's a good management. It's a positive thing, personally, because it's what I observe. They are able to manage their resources better than the SAPS. I think there is something that they can learn from the Metro and the law enforcement. And indeed, out of this partnership of the Government of National Unity, we are expecting now the resources to be shared. The Metropolis must work I understand the complexity and challenges, the political work. I'm talking about the operational work, police work together, the drones. I mean, we need the state-of-the-art security system that we have. Even if we have to have CCTVs. We need to have that because crime is on the rampage. But the last point, Deputy Minister, is that our police needs to be well managed. If it takes for me to discipline a police officer, it must be the work of the station. You cannot be a station commander. A police does not come to work. A police is not, maybe he drinks or he's got a problem. Then he must be referred somewhere in order for him to be disciplined. There has to be powers within the police, and they need to be rotated as well. There's a need for police. I think they get used. There is a reason they are scared of criminals. They are even used to the criminals now. So there has to be a rotation to make them effective in that. The last point is that they must be well taken care of. I think they are not well taken care of. We cannot have lots of police cars picking up people. There has to be a system, like in the olden days, maybe a bus or a combi, take them from work, take them back to work, because then it will save the resources of the police, and then those police vans will do the patrolling and the visibility. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Number 4.
Good morning to the leadership representation.
It's good afternoon now.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Just one second, sorry. Are you sure police are afraid of criminals?
I was looking at their faces.
I live in Kailicha. I'm not scared to tell what I'm telling. I live in Kailicha. I'm a pastor, by the way. My wife is crying for me to be here because there's the only time I'm free. It's a Saturday. So you can imagine, we are always involved with work such as, as stakeholders assisting.
Yeah,
so
I'm fine with all that. I just want this one.
I am very sure because they are not, if you call police, they won't act on the issues where they need to act. The issue of extortion is live and living in Kailicha. It's live and living in Kailicha. If you have a project, you cannot do a project.
I see all that.
Yes.
You are saying police are afraid of criminals.
They are afraid. Criminals are in charge of our township minister. And that is why I like the gentleman that was sitting here. We shouldn't be here to do just a talk show. We need to empower our police. And the reason for that, our members, which is a police, if they are not trained, they must be rotated. Because at the moment, I think they are used to yes.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Number 4.
Good afternoon to the leadership representation. Yes, as the Spiritual Crime Prevention Chairperson of Delft, I think there's a lot of concerns, and most of those concerns has been raised by previous representatives in the other communities as well. But I think we're facing a similar challenge right across the metro of Cape Town. But specifically Delft. Delft is recognized as the highest capital city globally for all crime activities that is taking place there. And at the moment, Delft Police Station is currently just the acting police station. It is not really participating in the activities as it should. Hence, I would say and make this statement, it's currently a monument just representing SAPS on Delft level or on local level. And it's not really making the impact in our community as it should. Currently, the leadership restructures and shuffling that is taking place at our station is also affecting the operations of that particular station to be optimal and really making the impact. Hence, communication flow also to the community and community to the police is also being affected through this structures that is being reshuffled. We had a brigadier, or currently there is no brigadier that is at the station or that is taking how can I say, that is really actively taking notice of the concerns of that station. And there was a station commander as well, acting station commander, that was there over the last 3-week period. And he has really made huge impact in that 3-week period. But there's a reshuffling that also took place, which means that reshuffling is also bringing instability to our police station. Then the other concern that we have, there is a lot of fleet that is standing at the station, but is inactive due to mechanical faults and failures, and hence in an emergency call out, there cannot be any responses because of these vehicles that is being affected as well. There is not enough permanent staff that can attend to matters of the community, and hence the community don't get the respect and don't feel valued. And also the ethical conduct from these station representatives, the police, they also don't know how to engage with the community on a respectful level. Because if the community comes, we cannot be treated like we the criminals that is coming to make the case. So that level of respect should be there and ethically conducted so that the valued community member is respected and valued. Then I think it's almost finished. 2 points.
This is the last one.
2 points, ma'am. There is, Delft is recognized as the highest crime capital. Extortion, hijacks, murders is taking place all over. But yet Delft is also one of the major concerns, and we do sincerely want the ministerial representation to really have a zoom in on Delft. What are we to do about the reinforcements in the areas and matters of interventions? There was a suggestion from the member in front of me that suggested that the ministerial representation should also have an alternative separate engagement from this platform to engage with the community structure stakeholders on a local level, all right? And so that the concerns...
the last one.
No, this is part of the conclusion, ma'am.
Oh,
conclude. Yes, so that the community can also feel valued in that way, and the stakeholders as well. I think, like I said, most points are lifted. But what are we to do about the restoration and dignity of our communities out there? Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. There was a lady number 5. Yeah.
Thank you. Molweni etafileni ngokushiyana kwezitulo zenu. My name is Wende Ndaka from Lingeletu Satellite Police Station or Spaza Shop, as my colleague have said. We have long time complained about the shortage of manpower and resources at Lingeletu, but no one is responding to that request. But our station commander will be called at the provincial office at War Room to explain as to why crime has increased, murder and bundukots, which we don't understand as CPF that our station commander can be crucified and those Smolanyana members are there at Lingeletu can be crucified for increasing of crime in our area. We know exactly that the shortage of resources is the core. Resources is the core for the station to perform their duties well. If there is no manpower and resources, bundukots will be there. So we can't be crucified of bundukots in Lingeletu, because police don't have vehicles to attend to the complaints immediately. There's a shortage of members as well as the shortage of vehicles. So how do you expect the members to attend to the complaint within 5, how many minutes you want the complaint to be attended, whatever it is. So they cannot do that. Second one, the negligence of our police station. Our police station is so neglected. If you can go, minister or deputy minister, I'm not sure. Now from here we go straight to Lingeletu. You will see a disgrace. That is not a police station, that one. We've been promised to be given a police station next in the ground then in our area. Up until today, there is nothing happening. Coming to the issue of protection fee. In our area, actually the whole Khayelitsha, we are faced with the problem of protection fee. We have to pay for our TVs that in our houses. People who are working, who are traveling by bus or taxi, they have to pay the protection fee from these protection people in our area. If you don't do that, you will be killed. Every shop, everything, those protection fee people, they are coming to what na? Ukoyikisa abantu bethu. ESCOM don't no longer go to our areas to fix the electricity.
Just hold on, ma'am. Can you kindly put your hand down? You are intimidating the speaker. Please continue. You are protected. Government resources, they're not going to our area anymore because of this protection fee. So we please need an intervention from you, Minister. We've been complaining about this protection fee things. What is the police are giving us? They only give us that number, that toll-free number that you must call. Where are we going to get the time to call that number? Whereas the shooting is happening now and we are scared, we are running. What is that the police are doing with this protection fee thing? Nothing, guys. Nothing. I've never seen even any patrolling police and amachoni. What do you call machoni? And the soldiers, there is nothing. We've been crying at Khayelitsha about this thing, guys. We need your intervention, Minister, as soon as possible. The last one now. Thank you.
We as CPF and neighborhood watchers who are complaining, guys, how do you expect us to hold patrols with our slippers and our flops? We do not have PPAs. No one is looking after neighborhood watches and CPF in terms of equipment.
Why is that hand up?
In terms of equipment. And later they expect that the CPF and neighborhood watch patrol the area. How? Who is the person who's responsible to look after CPF and neighborhood watches, especially in terms of equipment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take the last hands. They've raised the issue of the infrastructure. They've raised the issue of shortage of staff. Sit down. They've raised the issue of infrastructure, the shortage of police, the police stations that are dilapidated, the vans that are not working, the CPF not having enough resources, but also the CPFs want to have some discussions with the ministry where we can be able to talk issues out. So the one I liked most was Liabasaba. Alibasabi mus. Liabasaba. Sabafuna, ne? Yeah. Then it was raised the issue of she's just ready, and others. For now, I'm going to request the minister. Yeah, the extortion, protection, we are noting everything. We don't take you for granted. That is why we brought all the men in blue and everybody, because we respect you. It is our first engagement since appointment. You are very lucky, and we have prioritized you. So let me take this opportunity to ask the minister, the provincial commissioner first, to come and answer some of the questions that we have done. Then the minister, sir, I gave you time, sir. I gave you time, sir, and there are others who wanted to ask. Please. No, you'll talk to us. Commissioner?
Thank you, Minister. I will give responses that are consolidated in nature. Some of the responses are not quick fix, so they need quite some time. We will engage further with yourselves working on those matters. The following the response that I'll give quickly. Meisenberg, police station that is dilapidated. Some of you knows where the problem started and how it came about, but however, that doesn't justify. You would remember there was a project to repair Manimberg, and it was the community that says you cannot go build for us somewhere else another police station than repair this one. So that was decided, but however, doesn't mean the current police station should be left to dilapidate. From here, we'll be going there, I'll look at the police station, because repair like leaking of water, that can be done by day-to-day maintenance by the station commissioner, him or herself, just buying the necessary things or getting the service provider to do those little work. But however, I will now take it upon myself to go and look at it and make sure that we repair that. On matters of vehicles, a lot of you spoke about vehicles and personnel, and some of you, I could pick up that some on my right have mobilized some on the left. I picked that up, but however, vehicles, I will, myself and the provincial commissioner, we will definitely make sure that where there is shortage, you will get those vehicles within 2 months. But however, I know that this province is one of those that when we purchase vehicles, we purchase quite a lot. We have been delivering vehicles a lot in this province. I suspect maybe the problem is with the repairs, which, again, this province was a model for the whole of South Africa in terms of how vehicles should be repaired. And Limpopo province is one of those provinces that learn the model here. And now if you go to Limpopo, you'll never find their vehicles staying more than 5 days in a garage, which they learn here. So I don't know what is now happening in the Western Cape, but we will interrogate that and make sure that it is rectified. But where you have shortages, vehicle is not an issue. We will be able to deliver and give you those vehicles in 2 months from now. But however, when it comes to building repairs, small repairs we'll do, but major ones we can't do overnight. They need some processes. Some of you are aware what process it requires. It needs Department of Public Works and so on and so on. When it comes to personnel, I also can't give you personnel now. I don't have. We will give you over time. There are currently students that are undergoing training in the colleges. We can only give you when they come out, which will be towards the end of this year. And of course, they will still go for on-the-job training for quite some time until you get them, but we will be able to give you only towards the end of this year, but not immediately now. But of course, take note that also from 2022 up to last year, December, this province got 3,681 personnel. And currently you have 1,061 that is in the college, not only for Cape Flats, of course, but for the whole of Western Cape province. But we will prioritize where the shortages are. Acting appointments, we are advertising post this current, actually we were supposed to advertise today, we'll be doing it Monday, to fill up those posts that you do have where you say there's too many people acting in the province. The matter around the crime of extortion, I've taken note that it comes quite almost everywhere. So one of the plans that we are busy with now is definitely to address both gangsterism and this extortion and or protection. I agree with the speaker. Yes, it's actually Blue Downs police station, but it's called Mfuleni. And Mfuleni, there is no police station. That I'm aware of. We, just before the election, we had a meeting myself with the provincial commissioner, with the city manager, and it's the mayor, yes. With the mayor at his office, we agreed on some temporary measures and the sites to make sure that we build the real Mfuleni, and we take the name of Mfuleni from Blue Downs to real Mfuleni. And that one will be called Blue Downs. That process is on the go, and the mayor was cooperative. He gave us land and gave us temporary working accommodation where we will be. I think I'll give the PC if there is anything to fill up. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, Nyabo.
Thank you very much, National Commissioner. It's now my pleasure, as you know, that we work together in all spheres of government. I think some were remarking that we should be working together. We have started to work together. So it's my pleasure now to call our MEC for Police Oversight and Community Safety here in the Western Cape, Mem Marais.
Goedemiddag, good afternoon, Molweni. Minister Mchunu and all protocol observed. Thank you, General Masemola, for the invitation to participate today and discuss the very serious situation which has developed here on the Cape Flats and spilled out to our other communities. It is a long-term societal and criminal problem which is currently spiking, and we need all hands on deck to get this situation under control. I also want to welcome the Minister of Police, Mr. Mchunu, to the Western Cape. One of my priorities is to foster a sound relationship between the National Police Ministry and the Western Cape Ministry of Police Oversight and Community Safety, for which I have the inspiring task of taking political responsibility. I also wish to acknowledge the Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service in the Western Cape, Lieutenant General Patekile, with whom I am building a working relationship. You can rest assured that I am committed to keep honoring every undertaking I give and do absolutely everything I possibly can to lower crime in the Western Cape. If everybody does that, I believe we can conquer crimes in the Western Cape. I want to use this opportunity to thank every SAPS member here today for your selfless service to Western Cape. I want to assure you that the Western Cape government appreciates you and that we know you form the thin but strong blue line between the province and anarchy. A triangle is much stronger than a two-legged structure, and in the Western Cape we have a strong third partner in fighting crime. The LEAP program is the abbreviation for Law Enforcement Advancement Plan, which has added more than 1,000 well-trained law enforcement officers in the city of Cape Town. Our LEAP officers find themselves in a line of fire. Only yesterday, LEAP officer Lubabalo Mponchana was wounded right here in Hanover Park by a suspected gang member he was trying to apprehend. I will be visiting him and wishing him a full recovery. The situation here in Hanover Park is dire, and it has been like that for the longest time. The city of Cape Town has technology called the Shot Spotter. According to its information, no less than 102 shots were fired in Hanover Park over the last 7 days, of which 40 were fired yesterday. Minister, the Western Cape has for many years been shortchanged insofar as its number of police officers are concerned. According to the most current census, the Western Cape has 12% of the country's people. Fairness demands that it must have roughly 12% of the country's police contingent. This is not a time or place to settle it, but I look forward to our first formal meeting so that you and I can address this. Our province must have more police officers. The Western Cape government furthermore believes that gangsterism is not just a criminal problem. It is a societal problem. Therefore, a unified response will be actioned between the provincial departments of police oversight and community safety, health, education, economic development, social development, and culture affairs and sport to look after the holistic fibre of this community at every level. We will also work more closely with correctional services. And Minister, there will be MOUs between all of these departments and between us as well. Then I want to say to all the communities, ons sien julle en ons luister na julle. We do see you and we do listen, and we will not rest until crime came down in this province. Thank you for your commitment, for all the neighborhood watches, our CPFs, our faith-based organizations, all the individuals that sacrifice hours and their lives to keep our wonderful Western Cape safe. Members of the South African Police Service, I conclude by thanking you again for the service you render. Together we can beat crime in the Western Cape. Nkosi, thank you. Baie dankie.
Thank you very much, MEC. Let me take this opportunity to call the Deputy Minister of Police, Tate Matali, to come and make some remarks and also introduce the Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Director, Deputy Minister, Poli Bushielo, and the other program directors that were driving this program with you. I will stand on the protocols as outlined by the Deputy Minister and protocol observed. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's good to be here in Hanover Park, Minister. We literally camped in the Western Cape in the run-up to elections, talking to our people. They said many things here this afternoon. I want to assure you that you have a minister of Police called Senzo Mchunu. I know him personally. I have worked with him. We have fought many battles together. He is very meticulous. He is a committed servant of our people. As he said to you, that since he came in, he is going to work on what is there, but he's going to take it to a different level. And I think the station commanders that are here will attest to that, given the interaction that we had with them this morning and the task that they have been given to go and do in preparation for an engagement that we are going to have with them on policing and the strategic position that they must occupy as police stations in the Republic of South Africa and here in the Western Cape in particular. It's a different approach. You can see that, yes, it's from water affairs, but he understands governance and what needs to be done. We will work together. The President has given us a team under his leadership. Even the senior management of police, the National Commissioner, the Provincial Commissioner, they have had an opportunity to interface with him. They came to understand and appreciate the person that he is. You are fortunate that the President have given you Senzo Mchunu as your minister. And to police, you will enjoy working with him. Although it's a bit harder, but it's good to work with him. May we all rise as we invite the Minister of Police to address us. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. You can take your seats. Program Director or Directors, thank you very much. And let me thank Deputy Minister Boshelo for chairing this session the way she has done. At some point, I thought she was going to be overwhelmed by the hands that were there. And some of the people spoke very strongly. And I thought she is really going to find it hard to contain, and she just moved on with ease. And thank you very much for that. And thank you, Deputy Minister Matale, for the generous introduction that you have done. Let me thank the MSC for your presence, MSC. Indeed, we did write a letter to the Premier of the Western Cape that he would be here and that we would be pleased if we could have a relevant MSC to come or any other person from the provincial government to be with us here. And we are delighted that you are here. And thank you very much. We also wrote a letter to the mayor of Cape Town. I'm not sure whether we got anyone from Cape Town, the city itself. We will follow up on that matter. But let me thank the National Commissioner and all the officials that are here. Amongst us, we also have the chair of the Portfolio Committee, Ian Cameroon.
We're delighted to have you once more. Now, you have freedom to oversight the MSc for Western Cape for sound safety and security, because you have been here and you hear what she has said, and not just oversight us only. Thank you very much. I'll now be very brief. Firstly, to express our appreciation to the community for being here. It's a cold Saturday morning. Not nice to get out of your bed in the first place. Not nice to leave your home, as the pastor was saying. Not nice to spend all these hours here, but we thank you very much as a community. But we also have to thank you for attending other imbizos before this one, the summary of which you were given. We appreciate that. We have already held a meeting with the commanders of police stations and other officers, and we've had our chat. But let me just get straight to what I have to say, the few things that I have to say. Just listening to what a number of you have said, one of the words or expressions that were used here is Elsie's River is in the vice grip of the gangs. That was a very, very, very strong word. A vice grip of gangs. And the other words or the other expression that took got my attention, I'm not saying the just as highlights, it was that crime has become a culture. Crime has become a culture. Gangs are taking over the communities. So they've now become some kind of a sub-government ruling over other people in the community. And the gentleman there said it's via services that government is not rendering, and these people come in and they become some kind of a sub-government. And then a need for a comprehensive approach. There are other expressions that were made, but I just wanted to take those first. Let me just say we understand the situation that has developed and that is still developing in this part of our country. And we do understand our responsibility, all of us. But let me just be quick to say, I'm very delighted to see people who are so much alive to their situation. And by expression, people who appear to be so prepared to deal with the situation themselves. Because I haven't heard anyone saying, I just want to sit back, go and do your work. Everybody is saying, I am doing something. We are doing something about the situation in which we are, but we need your cooperation and your understanding from government. But this is us experiencing this, and you use words like people are fed up, people are tired, and that is you yourselves that are tired, that are fed up. And it's yourselves who are experiencing this in your own area. Other people even said, we are the victims of our own families and our own situation, our own children. We have given rise to this, and now it's turning against us. So you are involved as a community.
Now, I'm delighted to hear that because it makes us believe and see that we're going to be working with people who are warm into the situation, not people who are cold, who are comfortable, who are not really worried about the situation. We are worried about this situation. We are concerned about this situation. You are worried. You are concerned. It means we are going to come together and produce something hot. You are warm. We are warm. And therefore, if we combine our efforts, something hot is going to result from that kind of situation. And I want to say I regard all the resources of government at a national level, all the resources of government at a provincial level, all the resources of the city of Cape Town that are dedicated on safety matters of the people of the Western Cape and in the city in particular where we are, as the resources of the state, MEC Marai, without necessarily talking about this is for city of Cape, because the city of Cape Town, these are the people. For you as the provincial government, same people. For us, nationally, same people. So what it means, we need to look at this piece, in other words, this bag of resources. And all we have to say is, how much do you have? And you declare on safety of these people. And we'll say to the mayor, how much is there? And we will also declare how much is there. But for the Western Cape, from where I sit, I don't see anything that prevents us from saying, from these resources in one bag now, even though separated by lines of accountability, we then say, what are the problems that require resources here, as outlined by these people? They talk about a police station, they talk about cars, they talk about all of those. Then we must say, what is it that the mayor thinks he can do out of this list of priorities for the people of Cape Town from his resources? And then we say to MEC, what is it that you think you can pick up from this? And then we'll also say, what is it that we can do from what we have? And then we'll be working for the people of Cape Town, not for ourselves, if we do so. And for that reason, you and I have to agree that we need to call a meeting before end of the week next week. We are here up to Thursday. We're in Cape Town. And we need to take one, if we can't have a day, MSC, we'll take a night, one of the two. Now you and the mayor, you will host me anywhere with dinner and any other thing, the choice. Then we will talk about this as a principle to say, you are MEC for safety, I am Minister of Police, responsible for safety. As mayor, he also has a department, and therefore, overall, he is into it. How do we work together? Because there are these problems. All of us have a problem with these problems. So how do we then use this resource to deal with this problem? Because if people of Cape Town continue to complain like this, it means that the mayor is not performing his duties the way people expect. Then it means provincial government. Then it means the same for national government. Because South Africa has a unitary government. It just has levels. local, provincial. We don't have a federal system. So what affects MEC, it affects me. So if I bring you down, you will come down with me, national. But if you work and the mayor works, then to an extent that if they saved here, I will give you freedom, MEC, to claim that it is you who is doing this in the Western Cape, without referring to me. I'll say, no, fine, you can make the statement, you say, I, as MEC, I'm working very hard. Look at safety in the West. I'll be fine with that. I won't contest it. Same applies to me. So this is the first thing that we want to take forward. And by Thursday, and if I have to extend my stay to Friday, I will do so. If you are too busy to meet me next week, and I'm saying the meeting will happen during the day or during the night, but it must happen by Thursday so that we can share this information, especially ourselves who are here and the mayor, and I think the mayor is aware of these matters, but it will be important to share these matters afresh and then take a fresh look at how we deal with this. Now, let me go to number 2. Number 2, in Hanover Park, I'm hearing something that I've never heard anywhere else, and I don't want to get used to it. That someone can be seen running with a firearm, and when law enforcement tried to catch him, to disarm that person throws the firearm somewhere and the community takes it and they hide it. This is the first time I hear such. Now, I want that firearm. There's the second thing that I'm saying. We want that firearm. It must be put on the table. Now, National Commissioner, I want that firearm. Please go and get it. There has to be a way that we get that firearm. We are going to have a problem here with the National Commissioner and Deputy Commissioners and Station Commanders that we are aware now that there's a firearm in a particular community and we don't do anything. So that firearm is adding on the firearms that we are complaining about, that more than half of the murders probably are being committed via firearms that are illegal. And this is one of them probably that is illegal and it's out there. Who took it and where it is now, the people of Hanover Park will have to tell us. They will have to tell us. They will have to produce that firearm. Now, I'm told that, well, I won't say how we need to go about, but you who come from Hanover Park, you'll have to give us that firearm. But because you have taken that firearm, you must regard yourselves as having taken. It's like what you do when you take somebody's money. When they call it back, it must have interest. So we want that firearm plus interest. Other firearms that are there. That is how National Commissioner will have to approach it. And it's not going to be massaging each other. We just want that firearm so that we are able to say we've started working and a report has been given to us. And what is it that we are doing about that? So I don't know who is the station commander of Hanover Park. Who is the commander? So we want that firearm plus interest. Now, let me move on. Somebody spoke about the strategy, plural policing, with their involvement, spoke about 1996. crime prevention strategy. Let me put together this thing that talks about the police station. Everything that you have said about the police station. Let me put that together with what Reverend Doctor said about socio-economic system, the image and so on, put together Makasa issue, put together what Lukongolo said, if I heard you well. Let me put together all those questions by saying the following. One, just in the past 3 or so days, we had a meeting in the office here with a group of people who flew all the way from Johannesburg and said they wanted to meet us. They wanted to meet the minister. So we met those people. We tried to say to them, wait for us until we go back to Gauteng. They said, no, we have money, we can buy tickets, we can fly ourselves, we just want to come and see you. But there was something good that came out of them about what model we can use at community level to fight crime. A very interesting model. Yes, we have CPFs at various levels of functionality. But that model took my imagination. And possibly, if it is combined with the model of CPF, it can produce what we wanted to produce. So we will be following that thing up earnestly so that we have a clearer picture of how we can work following that model with the communities, with CPF or CPFs, and then take that partnership with CPFs forward. But on our side, we've already said we're not happy as the department that we don't seem to have a functional definition of a police station, a functional police station. And because somebody says, no, our police station is a spaza shop. It means that this is a definition of a police station. It's a spaza shop. Somebody said something else about the police station. That lady was wearing a red, she said, oh yeah, you are the ones who describing police stations here as spaza shops. Now, there could be, so we are working out a definition of a police station in South Africa. Characteristics, norms and standards of a functional police station. Now, we want to meet you halfway because you want to work with us. We don't want to come with a spaza shop to yourselves. We don't want to come with an image of a police station and functionality of a police station that makes us look very bad as the state. We want to come to you with a functional police station, even if we don't meet that criteria for now, but we'll work within a particular time frame towards meeting all that criteria, all those norms and standards, so that in each and every community where police stations are found, they are distinct structures that represent the presence of the state amongst yourselves, especially from the perspective of safety and security. Up to now, as far as I'm concerned, in health, hospitals, they may not be state-of-art. Clinics, they may not be state-of-art. But I haven't heard anyone referring to a clinic as a spaza shop. Schools, yes, they may not be, but possibly they are better. And other state infrastructure. My assumption is that we are putting our image at risk as people who are safeguarding the safety of people by subjecting ourselves to infrastructure that doesn't inspire hope and confidence that people who work here can actually give us safety and so on. People are now beginning to feel that we are to be pitied. We pity them. They are poor, and surely even our guns, they will think that they are not functional and all of that because of the image of the police station and so on. So we have to meet halfway. We are not going to wait until what National Commissioner Masimula is saying. I'm quite happy with it, saying in some of these police stations that you are complaining about, plans are being rolled out to build them. We may not be able to do everything at the same time, but we must be able to say we are starting here. Going forward, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with this, whether it's a new thing or something that have been spoken about before, but has not happened. But I did see your reaction when you raised the issue of Mfuleni, and when he responded, you appeared to be very satisfied and happy. And ours is to monitor and ensure that we deliver and deliver properly and on time this time around on these police stations and others. So we want to improve that image. We want to improve that functionality. We want to improve on resources. That is what we will be discussing. And I'm hoping that by the time we meet the province, we meet the city, General Masimula and team will have worked out a kind, together with the station commanders, some kind of a needs analysis, whether it is infrastructure or any other equipment that is necessary for policing, to improve policing in this district. We will have that list, so that when we meet, we don't meet on the empty just to discuss a principle, but we look at this list and we say, Premier or MSC in this instance, what is it that you think you can do within what time frame? And the city says so, and we say so that we prove to you that we are fit to govern. At the moment, I think you think that you don't have government. And when I say so, I'm not talking about local, I'm talking about government as government combined. Because to people, government is government. It doesn't matter which level, it's just government. So we want to come to you as a front, as government, and say, you do have government in South Africa. And it's not a failing government. And it can provide safety for you. Not only that, but we can deal with the gangs phenomenon, which we are undertaking to you. We have to, and we will. Because what he's saying there, say, look at South America. I'm sure things develop this way, and people take things for granted, and these things on the ground develop and develop. I'm learning that Kenya has sent police to one of the countries in South America
to try, because they say half of the streets of that country are ruled by gangs. You can imagine if half of Cape Town, half of any other city or town is now ruled by gangs. What kind of a country is that? Because it would mean that half of the country, it would mean that we're sharing power with gangs now. You have government, legitimate, elected, and then you have another government that is running in the streets, that is not elected, that is just there on its own. And then you lose the country. You cease to have a country if it's like that. So I think I'm done now with all this. Earlier on, I don't know whether Reverend Doctor is still, you are there. Earlier on, before you came, we said we want the deputy ministers and myself, we will be putting together a small group of people who want to fight crime, but by design and thinking, thought people on crime, in the form of a think tank, so that while we deal with crime on the street, but we begin to think deeper in terms of the problem. So when you talk about socio-economic, so when we call you, come prepared to say, what is it that your mind is on when you talk about economy at a local level that can feed people? Those people who are involved in this because of their situation and so on, and it becomes the economy, this thing of drugs. What other economy can we take? What other economy can we develop, and so on? So we will be pursuing you as a result, flowing from what you said here. And I thought that it's a good meeting because we have a Reverend Doctor, and doctors, they like thinking most of the time, and therefore we'll be inviting you to talk about this and the few pastors that are here, so that we think in a corner and say, what is it, what will be the roadmap to establishing a fully fledged, multidimensional or multidisciplinary kind of a team that will think, will lead in thinking about the situation in which we are, so that we reverse it from all perspectives. And of course, I think there are people who are dealing with partnerships within the police themselves, and then we sit together and think along. And it will also help, because we want to release the hands of police and their attention from socio-economic issues to confront crime, but not in a combined fashion where somebody makes an excuse. No, I'm doing this because talking about causes. Somebody spoke at length about causes. Deal with causes. Deal with this in a comprehensive, exactly what together there. We are not going to be dealing with just what we see and forget where it comes from. We are going to be very active, very deep, very comprehensive on this matter. That's why we are thinking about this think tank. That's why we want to strengthen the lines of cooperation between departments, especially social development. Because we want police to confront just the crimes and criminals that are accompanying them. So understand us to be regarding you, your CPFs and all of yourselves and your formations as a resource to us, and a resource that we take seriously, especially because we are not talking about people of another country or another province. We will be talking to you as people who are here, confronted by problems here, and in an area where you grew up. Some of these problems caused by your own children, your own nieces, your own brothers and sisters here. And so we should be able to find a solution on this. But
having said this, because these are the things that we're going to have to do, move quite faster on. Commissioner has spoken about additional people that they are looking at, and when he sat down, we did speak about what Commissioner Pategel is complaining about, because he's saying police are resigning, they are retiring fast and opting for other positions, and the city is a competitor, taking other people from South African police services and then joining the city and so on. Now, we would want to say to National Commissioner, having analyzed the situation briefly, he must speak to those amongst yourselves who are about to retire. Depending on your performance and all of this and so on, stop you from retiring for a while. Because we have a battle there, you can't be retiring when there's a battle here. So he needs to put some brakes on this matter, and we'll do this thing. We'll do this thing. So that after applying their mind and looking at the problem and look at your profile and your performance, maybe a number of you stop retiring. Then we'll also discuss with the City of Cape Town to say, look elsewhere. For now, we're busy now. Don't recruit these people, because we are busy now. We want to concentrate on this and deal with this matter. And those of you who are thinking about dying, we would ask you to stop dying at the moment. Let's focus on this. Don't run away. Let's focus on this. But there are those practical things that we really are wanting to do with the City of Cape Town, with the police officers themselves. Because when you retire, sometimes you retire at the wrong time with skills that immediately cause havoc from behind. And therefore, we'll be looking at that with a view to dealing with these particular problems that we have until we are able to overcome them. Then we can say, so that you yourself, when you retire in your home, you are fine. Because at the moment you retire, you may be a victim of this crime that you are leaving behind tomorrow. So it's better to hold on a little bit, and then we do this thing together, and then you can then think of doing that. So we're going to be optimizing on all the resources that we have, all of them. At the same time, we will be recruiting, because we are recruiting, as General Masimula has said. So we look at all these things together. On infrastructure, I've already made a comment on that we will be dealing with. In fact, there's an outstanding meeting that we need to deal with, just to put our infrastructure program at a high level, so that we're able to build police stations faster. The young man who spoke there, I don't know whether he's out now, yourself there, is it you? There's a tall guy who was standing there. Or is still you? Yeah, I saw you. It was nice to hear a young person like yourself speaking the way you are speaking, because this is where your energies as young people need to be directed, protecting the people. That is why we want you to direct your energies to. So we want a number of other young people to come to the front, speak like you, and say, if we are well organized, we are guided, and along the legal routes to fight this problem, we are there, and we like what you are saying, and you are welcome, and we'll be working with you and other young people who are prepared. There are two things that we must stop, National Commissioner, that I noted that this thing must stop. The first one is all these protection fees I know people all over South Africa. They go to these mamas who are selling things on the street and they say, from now onwards, you pay so much, and so on. Protection fee, from nowhere. And they tell you, if you don't pay, you are gone, and all of those things. So we need to stop it. And it means first we must just get information. Somebody must collect information on this. Who are these people who are collecting and saying they are protecting people? And those are the people that we need to confront first. At some point, the National Commissioner will be aware. I liked what I heard. I mean, it was long before I was appointed in KZN. Some of the efforts by police. You can't have people who are doing that to people, collecting money and saying they are protecting others and so on, but collecting money from poor people and so on. It can't happen. So we do need an action plan, Commissioner, collecting information, devising a quick strategy to confront this, but it must stop. Now, finally, I want to say this, that while on the agenda with the MSC and Mayor, there will be an issue of CCTVs, because I've picked up something about it. So it will be on the agenda. Those who will be assisting us will be writing, will take that to the agenda. And the last thing I want to say, these gangs must stop now. These gangs must stop. Now, the commanders here, each one of them, those who spoke, were saying, no, they were calling them by name. There's this gang, this name, that gang, this name. It's like teams of football who are playing. Now, I know that team, I know that team. Now, commanders, I want us to end these gangs. To the extent that they are now known, they are leaders, they are members, and all of that, because they are the source of all these problems that we are having here. They are the source of criminality. They are not like soccer teams. You mustn't regard them as soccer teams or social teams that are doing this and that. They are there. And there's criminality in each one of these, in one way or the other. And therefore, we need to get to a level where we say we no longer accept a situation where you are a member, you are a leader, you are what? And my head is telling me that subject to advice. Because you know them, we need to meet them. We need to call them. So, ministry organizes a meeting, commanders, every level, we call gangs and we meet them and we say to them, you are gangs. You are the leader of this gang, you are the leader of this gang there, you are the leader. And we say, look, you need to resign, part ways with this and your activities of this gang, and see what they will say. I'm from KZN. I believe in, I believe that if there's a fellow, you must also come forward. You can't be praying somewhere in a corner that that person stop their activity. It won't happen. So we will be organizing a meeting. So it means that there are two other meetings. She wants us to go to Hanover And she spoke well. She says the purpose of the meeting in Hanover Park. No, what? Manenberg. Yeah, not Hanover. Hanover Park is, we want a firearm, there's no meeting. That's all. Now, Manenberg, there are two people who spoke from Manenberg, but the lady there said, she wants the meeting for us to talk heart to heart. So we'll go there with our hearts. And ministry, I'm sure you are taking, you have the name, and we'll be organizing a meeting in Manenberg to talk heart to heart. I'll be very eager to hear what this heart-to-heart matter will be, but it will be necessary. It will also be necessary because that man, your neighbor there, said, Manenberg is the breeding ground for gangs. So I hope that on the agenda, he will unpack that. How is Manenberg a center for breeding gangs and so on? And then, so all of these meetings must then precede the meeting where General Masimula will be advising us how to stop gangs in the Western Cape. I see all these things that I'm talking about. They are just dealing with crime in a planned way, because we are entering a long journey. It's not going to be a once-off thing. It's going to take quite a while. But there are things that we need to do quite quickly that Commissioner is dealing with. So there are things ourselves that we're going to do quickly to stop these crimes and so on. These people who are dying every day. People are buried every day, firearms used every day. Those matters, including the meetings that I'm talking about, all of them. But then think tank, long-term issues that we need to go on with. But all of these activities must have one objective at the end, which is a meeting that commanders will have to hold. What do we do to stop this before it stops us? What do we do to stop this? And gangs must stop. So as you move on, you must think about this. How do we stop gangs from Cape Town, from operating the way they are, from doing whatever that is happening? That's my take for the meeting, and therefore at this stage, I do want once more to thank all the station commanders. That question that you asked, one of you asked, what are the short term? We're not in a position to outline everything, but I heard your question. And we do have answers for those. But we want to leave it at that, just to say we heard you, we understand you. But it's a matter that we are dealing with on the side. But let me thank commanders, let me thank everybody who came, let me thank the community and your contributions. And when we meet next, we won't be dealing with the same issues, same complaints, same everything. We will have acted on all these matters, or at least some of them, to a large extent, because from where I sit, there are not a lot of impossible lists of things. We have already agreed with General Masimula that when we leave here, we'll go via one police station. They said they are going to identify, I don't know which one. Which one? Maisenberg. It's one of those that they are complaining about, because we don't want all of you to talk about police stations, complaining about, and then we don't go and see at least one, how it looks like and how it is before we do other things for the day. So for now, understand us to be extremely concerned about the situation of safety for you as individual citizens of the country, your families, and the whole of the communities, and understand us to be undertaking that we are going out there using this information and the information that we already have to deal with the situation, but then understand us that we can't win the war alone. We need you more than before. Even where you think you have information that is sensitive, where you think you have information that is very, very, very sensitive, approach us on the side. We won't expose you to say this is information we got from so and so. We will contain it in us. Even if you want to talk about a station commissioner or involved in whatever, I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying we will deal with whatever information. I heard one person saying, hey, you were creating an impression that some of the police are not, you said something that left an image of a situation that needs to be rehabilitated. We'll look at that so that we don't have such. But I'm saying, if you have sensitive information, don't ask yourself, how will you share this? Because we're doing it already with many people who are coming forward to say, Minister, there is this and this. We have a number of people who are very trustworthy. There's Advocate Piccoli there. His special advisor. I know him to be very, very trustworthy. It will be, so you can approach him and say, Advocate Piccoli, there's this. So if something happens to me, it will mean that you will have given my name or sold my name out. Or you can approach me, or you can approach deputy ministers and so on. But we do need sensitive information. We do need critical information, especially on individuals that we may be interested in. I like this word that is used by police. They say a person of interest. I like that. So if you have persons of interest linked to certain activities, there's no way, there's no other way. Look, I like speaking directly. People are dying already. In other words, you are already dying. Okay? You are keeping information to yourself because you are afraid of dying. That if you give us that information, they will come and kill you. But in the meantime, they are already doing it. So you may as well, before, and give us information, therefore. And it will even contribute in preventing further damage. And so let's meet halfway. But for now, if any of you right now have, go to Advocate Piccoli and say, I'm so and so, and what, and we get that information, and we promise you we will work on that. But if there is any other time that has arrived to deal with gangs, including those that are present in this meeting, if they are, it is this time. It has arrived. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. There was the Minister of Police, Minister Mchunu, addressing the ministerial stakeholders engagement. I think we can put our hands together after this warm key address. Right, that has brought us to the end of our program. I will invite our Provincial Commissioner for the Western Cape, General Particular, to extend the vote of thanks. Over to you, General.
Minister and National Commissioner, Deputy Ministers, I'm a Todd. I corner. Near I corner. Net, yen minute, yen envelope. Just one moment. The Deputy Ministers, the MEC, the Chair of the Portfolio Committee Secretary and Deputy National Commissioners, DIFCOMs, Station Commanders, His Commissioners, Mrs. Lucas and everybody, the Acting Regional Head of the Correctional Service, our Police Ombudsman, General Reddy, all stakeholders. Firstly, thank you, Minister, so much for the marching orders. They are loud and clear. All we have to do, we just have to go and implement and comply. And because it is the first time that many are also welcoming the MEC, it's our first engagement with the Station Command, not all, but are here. And the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, congratulations and welcome to the party. Now, what we want to say to everybody who has enjoyed this weather, thank you so much. Minister has already thanked you. I can't go more than that, what you already said. I hope that we will meet again, but especially the community out there, keep on with the good work, keep on with the support. We need your contribution. We need. They might be unpalatable, but it works our calls. But our wish that we engage robustly at the station level, where we are. Because the crime is happening at the street level. It's not happening in the sea, it's not happening in the sky, it's happening there. But I'm hoping that then we'll come, all of us, and provincial board and district boards will come up with an action plan with the station commanders to give effect to what has been given. Thank you so much. I'm told that I'm told that there will be an announcement. I'm doing for the thanks. Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, General. Just a quick announcement. There will be lunch served. Right. Please take your seat, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much. Right. There will be lunch served. I'm going to request everybody to stand for the Minister and the entourage to disembark from the stage. Then the Minister and the entourage will be going back to the holding room. Then all the generals and the brigadiers, there's a request that they go to the library. Then the station commanders and all the stakeholders will be dished, their food will be dished from the foyer. Then they will come and sit in the hall for their meal. So thank you so much. May we all rise for the Minister and the entourage to leave the hall. Thank you so much.